Hello, I'm the author and developer of GraphPad. Today I'd like to discuss the new features and enhancements in version 106. Most of these features involve grouping, so without further ado, let's get started. We're going to start by creating an arc. Actually, when we go into a blank space and create an arc, we create a circle. But now arcs have endpoints, center of course, radius, so you can see we can resize this. This came to us as a suggestion through a contact form from Steve, so thank you very much, Steve. We evaluated it, looked like a great idea, so went ahead and incorporated it. Let's go ahead and finish the rest of our drawing. By the way, it's very important when you fill out a contact form that you make sure your email address is correct. I've had a couple that have had incorrect email addresses, and it was impossible to contact the person who put in their request. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and add a couple of dimensions. And now, as I said, we're going to look at grouping this. Okay, so we're going to create a group. Grouping should be a little easier. The sensitivity has been reduced. So if we drag this along now, we'll see we've corrected the problem where the dimensions weren't coming along with the group. So as we rotate it, it works very smoothly. So the new feature associated with grouping is we capture the scale. Okay, so say, for example, we created this, we want it to be 42 inches, and then we make an adjustment, we want to put it someplace else. As we change the scale, this is going to resize accordingly. So this addresses the zoom concern that I've been asked about on multiple occasions. So we've really always been zooming. It's just that we've been scaling our drawing. We've been using the zooming feature to actually scale the overall drawing that we're working with. Again, the concept behind GraphPad is to simulate exactly what engineers have been doing for a long time with just a pad of graph paper and a pen. So this is pretty much the same thing. So when you've got a pad of graph paper and you draw something, the graph paper doesn't resize and the iPad's not going to resize. But if we have objects, then they need to represent the size that they actually are. We can continue to show all the new features. We're going to go ahead and copy this to another page. So in this case, say for example, we had a stovetop. We had a 36-inch stovetop, and on the next page we have our kitchen design, which has got the counter space kind of laid out. So we'll do something pretty crudely really quickly. Obviously, you'd spend a lot more time on this. We put the dimensions on. We then measure our countertops, figure out what was the appropriate scale. But now when we place our cooktop on top of this drawing, it's going to be to scale. Okay, so if we took a measurement right now, this would be the 36 inches. Actually, I think it was 42 inches on the previous page, but you get the general gist of it. And we can move it around and position it accordingly. Now, one of the requests and issues that we've had is that as we move our drawings around, it's recalculating. And that's a good thing. But say, for example, you took a measurement, and the actual measurement of the wall was 156 3/4 inches. So when we go to dimensions and we override that, now we don't have to worry about that changing. We correct that issue. So if we put in 156 inches and 3/4, as we move our drawing around, excuse me, let's go to points mode. We don't have to worry about that overriding what we had in that dimension. So that's a key enhancement, and it's been requested by a couple of people at this point. Another enhancement is in the past, to delete some object that we didn't want, we've used double clicking. Okay. The reason why I selected double clicking is because from previous development, every time I wanted to delete something, I'd flash up a menu and say, do you really want to delete this? And you'd have to click again. So effectively, that's exactly what we're doing when we double click, and that's why, for me, it was quite intuitive. I realized that new people to GraphPad, that didn't quite make sense. But we can now create a selection area, and when we go to the trash can to delete it, if we've got a selection area, it asks us delete selected. And so we can just delete that portion of the model. One of the shortcomings right now, particularly the grouping items, is that The grouping item is based upon the scale in which it was created, but it does not take into account units. So, for example, if you were creating your countertop design with your cooktop, and your cooktop was designed in inches, and you said it was going to be 36 inches across, but your drawing of your countertop was in feet, it's not going to do that conversion, and so it's not going to be accurate. So we know about that, and we're planning on fixing that in the next release, which will be 107. But it's very important that we stick to a very rigid release schedule so that our end user community realizes that, yes, we are working on these issues, we are taking contact information, taking suggestions, and going through in them. We can't do everything all at once, but we keep moving forward, and so you can actually see the progress of the tool. And that's pretty much all that we have for version 106. Again, we're sticking to our 2-week release schedule, so we expect to have the conversion units fixed in version 107. Also, changes to GraphPad are only for the paid version of GraphPad. GraphPad for free is a more or less live demonstration. It's nice to play with and everything, but that's not based upon the current source code. And so all these enhancements will only be in the paid version of GraphPad. And that's what I have for you today. Thank you very much.